Carvana has had a massive year this year in the financial market. Will this continue going into 2025? In this video, I will be looking at some of the finances surrounding Carvana, looking into some of the news, putting their finances into my system to help see whether or not this is a buy, sell or hold stock. Before we do get into this, I'm not a financial advisor. Anything I do say is not financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion. I'm not biased towards any stock in any sort of way. So don't come for me in the comments if I don't agree with you. Although you probably will anyway, but essentially, please do your own research before buying into a stock, as it is very important you understand what you're putting your money into. Please do hit the like and subscribe button, it will be greatly appreciated. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. So on the yearly chart, Carvana is up 723%. That is absolutely ridiculous. Congratulations if you got in on the early stage of this. It is important to say this is not an all-time high, as they hit around $320 in late 2021. Since then, the market absolutely shat on this company and it is starting to rise up again. So it is important to say this is not an all-time high, so there is no limits at the moment until it gets to around the 320 mark. That is really important, as it means that there is no ceiling for it to hit in, well, there is, but not just yet. There will be a ceiling at $320, but it could potentially push past that. We will see in the later end of this video. So looking at the Q3 report for Carvana, they were expected to make 25 cents per share, and they actually threw this into the water and made 64 cents, which is ridiculously way better than expected. Revenue was 3.65 billion versus 3.45 billion, which was expected. So again, they've absolutely smashed that one out of the park. So what is the outlook looking like for this company? Carvana's new guidance signals expectations for strong end of year performance. The company said it expects sequential increases in retail vehicle sales during the fourth quarter compared to the prior 3 months, which totaled 108,000 vehicles. So they are still expecting an increase in Q4. So there's still room for this stock, according to them themselves, which you need to take with a pinch of salt. But it is important to say that this isn't, they don't tend to lie in these sort of things, as it can drastically hurt the stock if they do. So this is looking very positive for the company. So we are now going to jump straight into my system and see where this reckons Carvana stock will head. This looks at the previous 5 quarterly earning reports along with live data comparing the volume to price. So let's start off by looking at the quarterly earnings reports from Carvana, and we can see trend lines here to see where it is expected to head. So doing a quick liquidity ratio, this is where we take the total cash and divide it by the total debt. We can see how much cash to debt they have. Ideally, you want to see this above 1, as this means you have $1 of liquid cash to pay back liquid debt. And in the case of Carvana, we can see they do not have this. In fact, they have 0.1, which is not good at all. However, this is a company structure. I do believe this is something in which they do tactically, but on the long run, this is not ideally what you want to see a company doing, as this company has been public since 2016. It's still a relatively new company, so you can't judge it too harshly, but I would like to see this better than this. On the trend lines, it is predicted to start to rise on the liquidity ratio, as their total cash is set to increase and their total debt is set to decrease. These are just logarithmic trend lines, however. Now we will look at the retention rate. This is how much money they keep in the company on a percentage basis. So they are looking like they are improving, with the first 2 quarters on this chart being relatively volatile at a 28% retention rate in the last year Q3, which is amazing. And then the Q4 was minus 4.7. That means they actually lost money that quarter. However, they are steadily increasing now, looking to be in profit. However, these profits are relatively marginal at this point, but they are expected to increase again, so there is still much more room for growth within this company. Now we can look at a free cash flow statement. This sees how much money they have spare at the end of each quarter after deducting all of their costs. We can see a difference and a trend here. We are expecting this to decrease, this difference. However, we are expecting to see operating cash flow increasing, as the trend does seem to be indicating this, so that is very positive. This money will be used for stock buybacks, paying out debt, or paying out dividends, in which they do not. So that was their quarterly earnings. Let's jump onto a exponential chart comparing the volume to price on a 91-day and 365-day basis. So on a 365-day basis, we can see the exponential trend line, which is, you can see it as the 52-day moving average, and a volume chart. I must say, out of everything on this model, this is definitely the most promising chart, as it shows that the stock is really bullish. this as the volume is decreasing and price is increasing really accurately towards the trend line in which it is on. This is really important, as pictured here you can see that if a stock does not meet the trend line, it can often be very volatile once the market catches up to the fact in which it is overpriced to an extent. This doesn't always happen, as I very kindly wrote in the brackets there. However, if a stock here on the right is matching with the trend line, this shows great potential going forward, as the market is in line and it's not just a sudden volatile step in price. So definitely very positive for Carvana. This is the same on the 91-day moving average. As we can see, price is still expected to rise and volume is expected to decrease. Again, very positive. To see these going in opposite directions is a good thing. Just having a look on the figures for Carvana, we can see a 52-week high of $268 and a 52-week low of $29. That is ridiculously different, and it again, the volatility in volume is not that drastic, to be honest. Currently on the bottom chart here you can see the average volume traded and the current volume. With the current being below the average, this is definitely a positive thing. And the beta is 3.33, which could be seen as good or bad. In this case, I would definitely say is good. That means that on a volatility rate that the stock is outperforming the ETF in which it's in, which I believe is the Nasdaq. So very good for Carvana on this system for sure. It is definitely a bullish stock. However, that is just my opinion. Now let's see what the professionals think. So the professionals see Carvana stock in a 90-day projection having a bit of a dip in the new year and taking a rise again, which I must say I do agree with, but I do think the dip might come slightly early, and I don't think it will be anywhere near as drastic as that is saying it will go to zero, which is just complete lies. I see it going a bit more like that personally. I don't actually think that one is normally I exaggerate these, but I don't think that one is a massive exaggeration. So based off of 24 analysts, this stock is currently a buy. I would say I do agree. I wouldn't personally put it as a strong buy, but I would definitely say it's a buy, as I do see there being a slight correction soon. Not massive though at all. It's between strong buy and buy in my opinion. I don't currently hold any Carvana stock. I will potentially be buying in. However, I have no money. I am just a mere student, so please bear with me with that. I would like to do professional trading videos on me actually putting the money in, but yeah, we can't do that, I'm afraid. And again, they are projecting either a increase in the next year to $320 or a decrease down to around the $90. Personally, I see an increase. However, long term, I do see this stock plateauing. How long term, I don't know. Maybe towards the tail end of 2025. So what is the interest over time for the last 5 years on Google Trends for the search term Carvana? We can see a massive increase from late 2021 within the search terms. This is now, however, slowing down slightly. I do think this might have been a huge increase in 21 due to the fact that the stock almost collapsed. But this is kind of important to note, as this can show the demand for their services as people are searching for them online. With the interesting region being the United States, Canada, South Korea, Australia and Spain. Obviously, United States is at the top of this as they primarily operate in the United States. They don't, as far as I know, they don't operate in Europe. So ultra short term, what are the Sharpe and Sortino and Omega ratio saying about the stock? Really positive, with the Omega ratio being at 3.65. Ideally, you want to see this above 3, so that's really good. And the Sharpe and Sortino ratio makes at a percentage of 42%, which again is ridiculously bullish. So ultra short term, this is probably a good stock according to this. However, again, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. You should always do your own personal research. With that being said, that is the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed this. I would give Carvana a long-term rating of a B, purely just because I think it is a brilliant stock. There might be ultra long term, they might see a decline in price. However, I'm not sure. Let me know your opinions. I'm just thinking of a sustainability within this stock, but I do definitely see an increase from here. And of course, short term, according to that, it is also a B. So Carvana is a very good stock. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to get to 300 subs by the end of the year. I know it's ambitious, but might as well be. And I will see you for the next video.